Welcome to the tunnel. I'm your DJ. Yes.
It is a Thursday, and you know what that means. It's a men's corner show with yours truly, DJ Sodza.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You are listening to DJ Sodza live on Simnet Radio.
Join DJ Sodza and his informative team live every Thursday at 9 p.m. UK time, discussing Zimbabwean politics.
Make the whole world know about your business. Advertise with Simnet Radio. Email marketing@simnetradio.com.
This is a disclaimer. The opinions expressed by contributors during radio call-in shows are solely those of the individual callers and do not reflect the opinions of Zimnet Radio, DJs, presenters, managers or administration. Listeners are encouraged and advised to seek the services of qualified professionals for their personal problems.
In touch with the best online station, Zimnet Radio.
Zvisinei muri yeZimbabwe tinokuchingamidzai pachirongwa che The Men's Corner. Zita rangu kuno kunonzi DJ Sodza. Regai tione vari panhara. Kuamerica kumaswera sei kumukoma maka? Mukoma Mark, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. I hope kuti kune kusina noise yakawanda ikoko, could hear something.
No, ndatobva zvangu ndakumbonogara motika.
All right. Thank you so much. Would you like to maybe to introduce yourself since it's your first time to be with us here today?
Okay, I'll make it short. Inini ndinonzi Muhammad Ali Chatonda, shamwari dzangu dzinonditi Mark. Vavengi vangu vanonditi Benzi.
Okay.
I retired from work 2 years ago because I just made 70 years old, and ndakuita nyaya dzekungofundisa ma colleges of speaking engagement, and I'm writing a book, and that's what I'm doing right now.
Right. Oh, thank you so much. It's very rare these days to hear someone saying that they are 70 years old and they are proud to say they are 70 years old. One is only about 20 years old.
No, taiva. Takukusira imap manje.
Right. Okay. As you know, speaking with you on the background, this is a political show. We talk a little bit more about what's happening in Zimbabwe, especially right now with upcoming general elections coming up as well. Maybe vateereri vangu might want to know, kuti imimi, are you affiliated with any political party in Zimbabwe as we speak?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, well, I'm affiliated, of course, like we talked before, my affiliation is with Zanu PF, but let me qualify that. I was a Zanu youth member since '63, and I was in Zambia, all over the world, and in 1976 takaparadzana neZanu because of mabiri bobi anga akuitika musangano.
Okay.
So since 76 kusvika November 2017 I came back down Aguti. I used to be one of the activists are not Mugabe must go, Mugabe has to go. If you don't remove him, I will do that. So the change in 2017 brought me back fully clockwise. I am really 100% in support of ED's campaign, and that doesn't mean I don't like MDC to win. If they win, that's good, but it will be a winning opposition for me. I'll still work with them if the people accept them and they vote for them. Mm-hmm. But my preference is, of course, ED, but I'm not that kind of person who will cry and hang himself if ED doesn't win.
Thank you so much for that, because it's very important for our listeners to know you a little bit. So we will know you a little bit more as we go throughout the day. With the topics that we've got here tonight. Thank you once again. Now, may I also welcome Comrade Elliot Feve there. I saw Makamur to Brussels for the whole week, and we saw on Facebook you were posting a lot of things there. And are you back now in the UK?
Yes, I'm back, DJ Sodza.
Yes, how was your journey there? Everything went well?
Very fruitful. I think people who came did justice to the African cause, because it was an African summit. And yes, it was a very fruitful one.
Thank you so much, Wapepe, for that. Now, Sekuru, may I also welcome you to the show, Sekuru. I understand you are very tired today. You've been working hard all day.
Marichandi baya mshukuru. Masura siko mshukuru wangu. Welcome, achatunda, ndoma zira, tinoda kuvashitaura. Anotaura, anondo atirikuda kunzwa maningi ninga.
Aiwa ndosakataudza pachirongwa kuti tinzwe kuti zvakamira sei.
ama mandinyankira andina kuziva kuti musikano ari pano. Ichanakidza nhasi.
All right. Thank you so much. Gaidende pa Manchester, DT kuna mkoma Wilbert. Masquera say and welcome to the show.
That's right, Masravo. Hello, everybody. Yeah, it's nice to hear everybody's back on the show. Thursday, that's great. We look forward to Thursdays.
Thank you so much. And to America, Mkoma Belfort. What part of America are you in, Mkoma Belfort?
Makadiko DJ Sodza.
Tinofara chose. And what part of America are you in? Because visit accommodation.
Yeah, ndizo zvakanaka. Ndiri right almost in the middle of the US. I'm at the border of Missouri and Kansas State, Kansas City.
Oh, okay. Aiwa. Tinotenda chose nekuwa nemi pano. Is it summer there now? Are you enjoying the weather up there?
Yeah, it's summer. Kuri kupisa zvakanyanya stereki at the moment.
Wonderful. Zvakaoma. Tetero ziko America uko, how are you? Muri papi muko America uko tikoshanya as well.
Yeah, did right. How are you?
No, not bad at all. Thank you so much for joining us. Likati muri kupi ko America uko tikoshanya.
We're right in the middle of sunshine in the south.
Oh, okay. All right. No problem, right? Thank you so much. I've got a message from Sally here in South Africa. They kwanza anzi ameno pane zvipinga idzo zviriko. So she might join us a little bit later on, or she might not be able to join us tonight. Sally, I know she's all right. So Sally, we would love to have you here if you can join us, please. Now, guys, we want to move on. It's 12 minutes after 10 Kunoku UK. There's few things. I know you guys have sent you what we would like to talk about today. But I just want to start. I know the manifesto of the MDC Alliance came out today. But I just want to talk about that in the later stage of the show. Firstly, we saw what happened on Tuesday and yesterday to Zimbabwe. These demonstrations that were taking place. In fact, the MDC Alliance called themselves their march a demonstration against Kutanzi Yovarkudama reforms, my electoral reforms, right? And also, we heard that Zanu PF youth also organized their own Kwanzi march of solidarity. Vachibatana nawa ED Mnangagwa hapo, yesterday. I don't know what intrigued me was the fact that there was no violence and the police didn't fire any tear gas at all. I mean, this would have been a disaster a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. The police would have dispersed everybody. And so maybe what did you make of the two marches that happened there in Zimbabwe? Was it any significant?
Politically, yes. Legally, politically, yes. Mm-hmm.
What do you...
Politically...
Yeah, why do you say politically, yes?
You see, can our politician, you must find my issues to rally people around. And the issue of reforms is a rallying point for almost every member or every Zimbabwean who is opposed to Zanu. So if you really use that as the point, the focal point in your mission, you are bound to attract a lot of sympathy. But legally speaking, this should have been done to more effect. At least pavakabviswa aid paya. Aid asati atombogara pazigabwe riro risati ragara papahwizi. Ade vakachinda kwanhingiri manje. konzi kuZimbabwe maramba kufunga kuyawo unoita hari iroro manje kuti mareforms titoda mareforms izvozvi. Then there was time to legislate for those reforms in a way that they are demanding. And then there was a time to implement them and test them to see what I hold. Even no, let's assume kuti Chigumba, because I don't know, I think the Rand was against Chigumba and the SEC. I don't think it was against the Zanu PF. I think Zanu PF inongo hakira opa personal basaris. The rally was against Chigumba's failure to implement Majima reform. But Chigumba has always been saying in the parliament you would eat our ship. So had that been done, say in December, you will not get out to South but now it has been done now. It has sent a clear message with they want reforms. But then there is no time to implement and make sure that they take a foothold. So to me the position is yes, it was a good rallying point. Yes, it was perfectly timed in terms of just after the announcement of the election dates, but it was the wrong time in terms of the legal requirement for the foothold to take place. So in kwatakadzidzira kumabasa kweduko kunonzikana ukatipreacha the right message at the wrong time or at the wrong place. Aishad.
Aiwa, Sekuru, thank you so much for that. Again, Mkoma Mark there. You'd like us to call you Mark, isn't it? Mark, what did you make of what did you make of the rally and the march? Or should I say the demonstration and the march?
Right, I muted my microphone, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now, yeah.
Okay. Now, in the angle, I have maybe 2 or 3 major points. Zvakandinakidza stereki wakutapirigwa to see kuti vanhu vakaenda kudemonstration for elections reform, because this is really the country we want. People should be allowed to demonstrate, say what they want to say without screaming or throwing stones, without insulting each other. So it was a real test of where we are going. Now the second thing, I did not like Zanu PF doing what they call a solidarity march soon after the the demonstration for the reform, because to me it seemed like even though they called it solidarity march, it was just to show that they don't agree with what MDC was demonstrating for, which should not be. Well, we should not have a tit for tat. If they also had said, I know this is politics, but we don't really know what's so complicated and so difficult to implement my reforms because as far as I'm concerned, printing a voter's roll is a matter of hitting a button and you print the voter's roll. Now also, is it a practical request? Because if the voter's roll has got 5 million to 7 million people on the voters roll, are you really going to read it, or you have a mechanism to? I don't know if the purpose for asking for the voters roll is to complicate because it's that easy to produce or easy to read. I'm not sure, but that being the case, let people demonstrate for that what they want. Now, demonstrating for solidarity, to me, is counterproductive in my party because we have other things to demonstrate about. So that's the only thing. Like, for example, I was very, very upset Zanu PF when they started showering Mnangagwa with praise. Here in America, we are telling people and investors that, oh, Zimbabwe is open for business. It's gonna be a democracy. You can talk, you can say what you want to say. And now here people showering Mnangagwa with, oh, Excellency, you did this and that. We are very happy, Mr. Excellency, you did. What that does is what every banana republic or dictator country does. And they're pouring water on our message because it shows like they really don't want democracy. They just want to create another dictator. So the demonstrations were good for demonstrating that yes, there is freedom in Zimbabwe, but also there's bad because we still have Zanu followers who don't understand what it is to embrace democracy.
Okay. Aiwa, thank you so much for that. I know Vapebe, you were busy with other engagements there, but you probably have been casting an eye as well on events that were taking place in Zimbabwe. The demonstration on Tuesday and the March of Solidarity for ED on Wednesday to counteract what had happened the previous day. What did you make of that?
Yeah, firstly, I think let me comment on MDC. The demand for electoral reforms has been at the center of our revolution since 1999, when the party was formed. That having been so, 2013's new constitution, which was the constitution of the people, which was voted overwhelmingly by over 96% of Zimbabweans, was to resolve or solve that impasse in electoral reforms. So since 2013, we thought after that constitution was then signed into law by the then president Mugabe, that the constitution will be implemented in its entirety and all the laws realigned to that effect. It has been a very frustrating episode since 2013. Now, Tuesday, the 5th of June, the timing was spot on, given that ED had actually announced the election date as 30th of July, and we have always been advocating for a roadmap to an election date that also encompasses the necessary reforms, point by point. And it seems all that has been falling on deaf ears, both Kuzek and also the powers that be. Here I mean the ruling party. Now, again, commenting, yes, Zanu PF. If you look at it, again, Zanu PF, this is not the first time that the ruling party is mobilized, and the intention is to show a number game. There was nothing to be benefited from Zanu PF except to divide Congo, show out they've got, an equal number or a bigger crowd of following, which unfortunately backfired because you and me and my listeners here, they also who agree with me that the number didn't square up. There was no need. You go to our dance in solidarity with ED for what? Solidarity with what? For what? But then, if you look at it, I know there was a comment here, voters wrong. Yes, put about 5.5 million registered voters. Now, our demand of voters roll, this is why we've always demanded an electronic form here voters roll, which is enshrined in the Constitution, right? And if you remember, well, 2013, we went into an election without the voters' roll, deliberately. Now we are getting into an election. We still have not been given access to an electronic voters' roll. So that's the reason why it was one of the demands during the March Yom 5 June. And I think whether, if the question to be asked is whether it was necessary to do so, yes, indeed, it was necessary to do so. The point has been made, the voice loud and clear, as we prepare to get into the harmonized elections. People out there, my Zimbabweans, my voters, who are the custodian of peace and stability and the outcome of this vote, they now know that this government is not sincere in making sure that the elections of 30th July are free and fair. So there it is now in the public domain, and that was important that both Zimbabweans, the international community, the regional bodies, SADC and the African Union, being also the supervisors of these elections, are well aware of the sort of the ground as we prepare to the election, that it is not a level ground. So that's my comment as far as these matches were concerned.
Thank you so much. I think we got to move on. Then the Panamkoma Wilbert to Manchester. Mkoma Wilbert, you saw the demonstration on Wednesday, on Tuesday rather, and the march of solidarity yesterday. What did you make of those?
I think actually it's laughable listening to Fedre talking there, because to start with, he is telling us now that they went into the 2013 elections without a verifiable voters' roll deliberately. I mean, you say to yourself, am I hearing the truth here? You know, you are an opposition party. You have got an obligation to make sure the elections are free and fair and credible to the electorate as much as to yourself as well. And for you to go into an election without a verifiable voters' roll, I think it's the most outrageous statement I've ever heard from anybody. So are we trying to suggest here that we are going into these elections once again without a verifiable voters' roll because it's deliberate? It's ridiculous. This is laughable. And I think it underlines the point that some of us have been making on this forum and other forums, that if you seriously expect the international community to take you seriously, to say you are demonstrating and demanding electoral reforms when there are 60 days to go to the voting date, everybody will say, do you seriously expect any reforms to be implemented? The answer is it's got to be no. So why are you demonstrating, other than just to show the numbers game that one of the other commentators was saying here? And in this particular case, if you are playing that game, I can tell you the opposition you will lose. Because in terms of funding alone, Zanu PF has got the resources to bus people from one corner of the world, of the country, to the other, to attend rallies and pretend they've got the massive support and so forth. And if that's the game we are playing with, you've lost it already. And I think it is really tragic that we've got an opposition that is absolutely no focus, no sense of idea of what they are doing, because this is typical of what has got us into this mess. The opposition doesn't know what it wants, doesn't know where it's going, where it's coming from, and what it is trying to attain. And that is one of the biggest problems we have in this election.
Thank you so much, Mkoma Wilbert, for that. You did not mince your words there. Mkoma Benford, what did you make of these marches or demonstrations, whatever you want to call them?
Yeah, my Dabasa DJ Sodza. I think my demos are the good thing that came out of the demos is it showed the world, in the international world at large, that democracy is at work in Zimbabwe. There is true democracy. The two main political parties in Zimbabwe, MDC, vakaita demand yavo, Zanu PF made their own counter demand. The police, what is also important to mention here is the police yakati kune Zanu PF, you can't do your march on this date because the MDC applied first. And therefore MDC was allowed to have their own demonstration, their own march. Zanu PF vakazoapproviwawo the following day and vakaita march yavo. So I think it is important for us to realize that is democracy. Where I want to disagree with my brother here, Mr. Frank, he is questioning the logic of Zanu PF doing their demo. It is not me or anybody's responsibility. It is their democratic right. Whether it makes sense or it doesn't make sense is up to them. In as much as we are going to debate whether the MDC demo made sense, in as far as I'm concerned, that was grandstanding. Like I agree with Sekuru here. Legally, even Mafebe, he knows what they were marching for has any legal ground. To make matters worse, it is the same opposition. Vaka inseta a statement of constitution yedu yekuti once proclamation ema dates yaiswa, nothing should be changed when it comes to the electoral act. Vakanga vane mind previously vaiti Mugabe unozochinja zvinhu after a proclaim my dates, and they wanted to prevent that. Now this is coming back to hound them, because now they are calling for these reforms, yet they know according to our constitution nothing can be done at this stage. So that is an important point. The other thing that we also need to emphasize to our listeners, Nana Wapebi, I want them to point to us exactly that Zeki has not done, which is provided in our constitution as it is. We saw today MDC Vachilonja manifesto yao, they were given coverage in ZBC, live coverage in ZBC. And I said this last week, it is because our constitution as it is, it provides that once Dekira proclaimer, Zeki has the constitutional mandate to ensure that all political parties are covered fairly, equally, and you saw that with the main broadcaster in Zimbabwe, ZBC, covering MDC manifesto launch today. So they slept in parliament. Vakanga vachi propose ku legalize ma brothels, ma chichi in parliament. Instead, yokuti vaite focus on important things. Now, 2 months before an important election, they want to change the playing field. It's nonsense. It doesn't. It's not going to happen. Legally, if they want, they can challenge ZEC chairperson Priscilla Chigumba. And I can assure you, any court system in Zimbabwe will not find any fault in Ngai Chikwana Chigumba, as our constitution stands right now. So let me finish by saying this. Overall, they were testing their numbers. No one has ever doubted the support in MDC Harare. But that is not where they have lost all these elections. They've lost these elections in the past, not because they want to support Harare. It's because they want to support elsewhere, which is where they should be focusing their attention on. Otherwise, they are going to lose this election again. Okay, let me stop here.
All right. Thank you so much, Mkoma Benford, for that detailed explanation. But akwenda pana Tete Rosie kwa America. Tete Rosie, you've seen the demonstration, you've seen the march yesterday. What did you make of it?
I was actually proud to see Zimbabweans come out of their homes. My only concern, like I said, is always been this business of waiting till the last minute. This is what we were pushing for even when we were in there. We were pushing for demonstrations. Kutivanu, let's demonstrate now. Even before, when I was talking, I remember on this radio, I was interrogating Mr. Pepe. Why haven't our parliamentary people tabled this in court, fought for this in parliament? Vachitaura nezvema small house. Why are we waiting? What are we waiting for? And this has always been my thing, Kuti. Why do we always wait? Because I remember, if you guys remember, if people remember on this panel, do you guys remember I brought this up? About reforms, why they should be pushed now, why people should be fighting for those things now. Because because you cannot win an election in Zimbabwe without the reforms. Now, one thing that Benford actually brought up, which Kwandiri, you can actually see the smartness. Yes, Zanu here. Yes, now you're allowed to go and march because Lagus Yatima date have been proclaimed and there's not much you can do in terms of changing anything with the electoral law.
Yeah.
Saka, everything looks legit. Saka, your noise is just noise. In fact, your noise, even if ZANU-PF rigs an election, is saying to the world, see, Zimbabwe, they were free to march and protest. You know, it was free and fair. People marched in the streets. No one came to shoot them. There was no tear gas. The president said, good for them. You know, but the idea behind it, which I loved, was seeing Zimbabweans coming out on the streets in their numbers. Because the last time I saw Zimbabweans coming out in the streets on their numbers was when it was Mugabe must go. And they had permission from the military, so everyone got out of their homes. But this time people got out of their homes. You know, people are not scared to come out of their homes, which was good. And what I really hope for Zimbabweans is, because in it I don't really have a lot of hope in the political parties and the politicians in Zimbabwe. And I hope for a real revolution of the people, where people reject even election Nicaragua. They will reject the results and they will march the streets and say, Taneta neni ZANU-PF. We are tired, you must go. But like I said, we always wait. We wait till the last minute. And it's not so much just the people of Zimbabwe, because maybe it's she said the povo. These are things we're supposed to actively be doing. Patakatanga kunera, when we were in Nera, and we were pushing for these reforms, and we're writing to ZEC, and we were harassing ZEC for months. And we were harassing these MDC people to do this. We were being told, and I didn't understand why. But it's always the last minute when people now in the 11th hour. But you know what? Better late than never. At least something is being done now. And what I hope for is, it's not one demonstration. I hope this becomes a nationwide demonstration. And what I want to see in Zimbabwe is demonstrations for until ZANU-PF is gone. Because I really now believe in the people's revolution, not the politicians. Because the politicians, ZANU-PF is democratic, because now it's a bit late to change legal laws and everything else. So we don't even know. You know, what's really, and I always say I don't even know what's really going on. Because MDC, my C10, Nechi, and I'm looking at them because what are they doing in MDC right now? I don't understand. So I don't understand a lot of things of what's going on in Zimbabwe in terms of what's going on the ground. But what I do understand is Zimbabweans are tired of ZANU-PF. And I really hope Zimbabweans get in the streets and say it continuously. We are tired of you. We don't want...
Hello?
Yeah, okay.
But I commend the fact that at least, I hope this is not a one-time demonstration. I hope it's a demonstrations that are continuous, not just in Harare. Because I remember when we were in Nera, we were pushing for it. Let's have a demonstration in every part of the country where people come out and speak loud and clear. Let's have our parliamentarians in parliament fighting for these reforms. But and people destroyed Nera and things stopped.
Okay.
So this always happens in the 11th hour. If MDC loses this rigged election, my hope is the people of Zimbabwe come out and say, leadership yesengayichenda. We are tired of people who do not do things that are progressive when their time is there to do it, who wait till the last minute to do things and then claim they're doing something when they know it's too late legally to do something.
Okay, right. Thank you so much, Tete, for that. Zimbabwe kana makateerera ndanangobvunzawo zvangu a little bit vanhu vari pano papanel kuti vandiudzewo kuti ivo vanofungeiko nemademonstrations akaitwa neMDC Alliance and also with Zanu PF yesterday coming out and doing a solidarity march there yekuti vari kufarira vaED in solidarity with ED. Now zvandakuita panapa regai ndimbodai so. We'll be back after this. We want to maybe to be honest with you, I haven't had a chance to read the MDC Alliance manifesto in all. I just just kungoona pano nepapo. So I hope kuti vanhu vari papanel they've had a look at it as well. I'm not expecting kuti vese vadziverenga vanzwisisa zvese zvazvipo, but a few things that they've catched on it. We want to talk a little bit about that.
This is a disclaimer. The opinions expressed by contributors during radio call-in shows are solely those of the individual callers and do not reflect the opinions of Zimnet Radio, DJs, presenters, managers or administration. Listeners are encouraged and advised to seek the services of qualified professionals for their personal problems.
In touch with the best online station.
Make the whole world know about your business. Advertise with Zimnet Radio. Email marketing@zimnetradio.com.
Zisney, let's move on. We've got lots to talk about. Seguru, are you back online? Yes, zvinoitika Seguru. I think ku Birmingham uko kune varoyi vanenge vari kufamba, saka muroyi akadarika anokanganisa internet dzenyu.
Hakuna muroyi anogona uyo musikavani.
Seguru, I don't know kuti maiona here manifesto MDC Alliance. I don't expect you to have had read all of it, but there's a few things there. In hangu, what captured my imagination was the promise of the rand, things like that really captured my imagination. What captured your imagination, Pamariona, or have you had a chance to just have a look at one or two policies that they've come with this smart thing?
Smart is documenting your one guy. Smart yakagara iri kudare. Saka apana chanti surprise. I don't surprise and you pakati behold the new. Because I don't say kuti chaitirwe kunzi behold the new because it's the old principles, the MDC. There's nothing new there. The only thing that you are saying in your foreign currency, which to kuita murandi monetary union. But then we know that is a much more difficult proposition, and it won't help much in terms of the problem. The problem in Zimbabwe is not a crisis. US dollars or whatever currency. The problem is a lack of confidence in the banking system, and also the government itself, because government inotora mari dzevanhu ichibirira negweseri yovapa mabhondi asina basa. So the people are not going to bank any of their money in that system.
Where's my wallet?
Right. So at the end of the day, it's not a new proposition. It's actually a proposition of trying to cure malaria with the penicillin.
Okay. So I mean, so Sekuru, you're saying there's nothing new coming out of this manifesto. It's all the old MDC principle. Was there anything there that you thought that one is a bit new there? Oh, there was nothing.
Stories zvinyowani zvingatonzi zvinyowani kuMDC ndezve structure yemaprojects acho run, build, operate and transfer. Well, it might be new to the MDC guys, but for some of us it's an old principle yakaitwa neZanu ikatadza pakavakwa maroads ana chivhu mpanda wana chivhu to Vuma, sorry, to Gweru, mpanda wana to Chiredzi. This was the same model, build, operate and transfer. And this concept is not new at all. It's only new within the MDC financing options. But Zanu has already been talking about these issues a long time ago. Unfortunately, they didn't follow them through to the letter, and therefore the projects didn't materialize.
All right. Thank you so much, Sekuru, for that. Mkoma, Mark?
Yeah, I'm Sekuru vanotoziva kuti all day today I was having constipation nemhosva manifesto MDC.
Okay.
First, I have friends vari MDC who I respect completely, who are professionals, and I mean, this is a party that could be our next government within the next 60 days. And to see the inferiority of that document, the plagiarizing, the cut and paste, is unbelievable. It's absolute. Maybe it's pleasing the Zimbabwe population, or what we call the base of MDC. But to anyone who is a financial analyst or an economical strategist, that's a shame. You cannot put a document out there with 100 billion budget, then you budget from that 100 billion, which is actually what we call zero budget base in business. And then you say, we will do this, we will do this. Where is the $100 coming from? The $100 billion coming from? And then I have a company. I posted something on Facebook today, and people were insulting me. Hey, you are nothing. This, that. But here is the honest truth. I have a company which was established in Zimbabwe 3 years ago. I said, 3 years ago. The only reason that it's not popular or going well is because 3 years ago I was very much against Zanu. So my company is called Dura Investment and Development. It's registered. It's got the titles of the articles of incorporation in Zimbabwe, and the methodology of Dura development under a methodology called Mbeu is registered here in the United States as a patent, as well as in Zimbabwe. Then when I read what they had under Dura, it was just a twist of words of what my manifesto is. And they don't first of all, they just store what I call metadata for that methodology for Dura. But they wouldn't know how to implement it. And if anyone argues, I'll go to court in Zimbabwe and prove that someone stole the idea. If it's a coincidence, then it has to be marked as one of the historical coincidences in the world. Because I was actually furious. I called my director in Zimbabwe, and they are upset at all that. Now, given that the manifesto is just a pie in the sky, I don't need to be worked around, but I don't want people to think that MDC finally has a plan. And then I worked on the financial markets in the financial industry for over 40 years. You tell me that changing your money base from a dollar to rand is going to improve your economy. How? We have always been arguing we need to establish our own monetary system. If not, we need to talk with our brothers and sisters in Botswana, in Mozambique, in Zambia, in Malawi, Tanzania, Kenya, and develop a regional money which is controlled by our regional reserve banks. Giving it to South Africa. South Africa is a 10 times bigger economy than we are. They'll just swallow us up. We'll just be another Lesotho. Is that what you want? So no, the manifesto is first of all cut and paste. You know, the talk of build in there, and Sikaran was correct. You know, that's a concept that was started and actually was modified by Maxwell Shumba and his people in what party did they call that? Zim First. I know that because Maxwell Shumba wanted me to be on his panel, but I was so sick that time I couldn't involve myself in that thing. But no, I'm going through the entire manifesto, and I'm going to pass the plagiarizing in there. And again, I don't want to publish it before the elections because I don't want to appear. I told you I do support ED. And I don't want to appear political, but that document is absolutely a stolen piece of work, and BT should be ashamed of himself.
Now, Mukoma Mark, so you are saying, Kuti, they've stolen almost all of the stuff that was in that manifesto?
No, I'm not saying all. Plagiarizing is not a matter of you doing 60 or 50%. It's just doing some.
Yeah.
There's a lot of plagiarizing, not all. Oh, some of that, like Mudavanu just said, some of those original MDC covenants. So, no, I'm not saying that.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that.
And I just want, Sodza.
Yeah.
I just want to respond to a guy who said he didn't agree with me when I said Zanu should not have demonstrated. First, I was talking as a person, a Zanu member myself. It's not that Zanu should do what they want. As a member, I feel that Zanu should do what makes sense. You might not think that doing counter demonstration is really counterproductive, because that's what really makes people start clashing with each other, because people want, even though MDC had this demonstration another one day and Zambia demonstration another day, people always say, oh, takagona demonstration, you know, Zanu should avoid things like that. They are not gaining anything. They are not gaining anything. So it's nice to be the big man in the house. MDC has reason to demonstrate, right? They want the changes. Okay, it's late in the game, but Zanu should also really show, meet them halfway and say, hey, the practicality of what you are asking, whatever it is, I don't know what they are asking, is not feasible, but let's work together and do this. We have a computer system. Anyone who comes to vote, the computer will verify if they are in the register. What else can you do? So anyway, that's it. I think I'll yield my time to Sekuru.
All right. No, that's fine. Thank you so much for that. You are hearing what Sekuru and Mark are saying there. That it's fair to say they are not convinced at all. Sekuru is saying that this was the old thing that MDC has always, advocate. There's nothing new about the smart. And Mark is saying that the Dura was stolen, and he can actually take people to court on that if people wants to fight it.
Yeah. Zvakunakidza DJ. Anomakwa ndiane bhora.
Aiwa. No. Let anyone who despises what I say go to the company registration board.
You have had your time.
No. Let me say this before you waffle. Go to Zimbabwe.
That's outrageous. You can't say it before you waffle. If I say
Go ask for Dura investment.
This platform. Can I remind you that this platform?
Yeah.
People who are eager to see a new Zimbabwe.
I know that. So am I. But you can't. You can't say Aneborando. I have nothing against MDC. Nothing. Yeah, that's what you are implying. I'm not stupid.
Can you wait and years and do it out?
Okay. Right. Let's give Wape a chance there, Mark. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Firstly, Sekuru Araguti, there's nothing new in the policy document. I very much disagree. I'll run through the main ones. I've been involved in a policy document, the MGC, since its inception. So I know which ones are new and which ones have been. With Mark, I think it is very outrageous. I would say it's outrageous. So that narrative is an outrageous. That Bagata plagiarism. I'll come back to that, but I will just run through. And I think this is not about personal my emotions. It's not about personalities. We are talking about a bigger picture of a country, a nationhood. Firstly, if you look at this document, to me, is one of the best documents produced by MDs. Having said that, about 65% of what is there, yes, is the policy document MDC which have been refined every election, which is the case anyway. In any election, some of the policies that are outdated because of the demands and certain changes in the political terrain. And so that is about 65%. The other 35%, which is totally new, it's to realign with the current demands and situation, the impact around in the country, within regionally, and also within international scope. I will highlight that. Firstly, in terms of returning back to constitutionalism, I think this is without any question, nobody will doubt that. But high on the agenda there is the devolution of powers, which is enshrined in the Constitution. That the governors who, once an MDC alliance yapinda power, my governors, appointed a president, but are elected by the people. And of course, there will be some regional assemblies, and governors will sit in those regional assemblies. There will be executive mayors, back to executive mayors for accountability. Now, in terms of the economy, which is the economy, and I think we've been attacked in terms of the blocking some GDPs, 100 billion economy. Right. In this, this is not a new policy document in terms of one, economic stabilization. It was there even in 2009, and we used the economic stabilization methodology to stabilize the economy GDP, and nobody can argue that within the shortest period. So we are not talking of a new party here. We are talking of a party that has been in 18 years. We can't be now going to plagiarize everything in the manifesto. We have got sound policies that we have implemented even during the government of national unity, which worked. Now, according this in our manifesto, we are saying the first 5 years, which is by 2023, we will develop a 46 billion economy. And by 2029, 100 billion economy. I will explain how that is going to be achieved, because I think that is where the confusion is coming from. Panama critics. Again, we will reduce the civil servant employment costs, which currently stand at 80% of the annual budget, to not more than 30%. How are we going to do that? We'll make sure that ghost workers, and we have got the statistics that there are thousands, hundreds of thousands. I think when we got in government of national unity, some of you remember that there was a report of about 33,000 of ghost workers that we stumbled upon. So we'll make sure that there's a proper audit and ghost workers are removed. Those who have reached the pensionable age, again, we know that there were some people for best known to Zanu PF. They were being kept to maintain those institutions. And I'm dead, well above pensionable age. So we are going to reduce the employment bill from the current 80% of the annual budget to not more than 30%. That's one of the measure that we are going to take. Still on the economy, we are going to abolish the bond and then strengthen the multi-currency. But that is only an interim. We are moving towards, one, the use of the rand as a legal tender for Zimbabwe, which is again a bridging. But in the long run, Zimbabwe must have its own currency, and that is factored as well in the policy document. We are also still on in terms of the economy. How are we going to finance that? Right? If you remember, I'll give you the statistics. The last time Zimbabwe's GDP growth has been over 10% was in 2013, during the government of national unity. It is, and then we reached about 11.5% of the GDP, right? The assumption of the 46 billion economy is based on an accelerated growth of around average of 10% GDP, a 6% of inflation average, and a savings exceeding 25% of the GDP, with the FDI exceeding roughly about 25% of the GDP. Add that to a stable economy, a peace and stable country, it is achievable to have a 46 billion economy in the first 5 years. That is, and then in terms of, let me then just scan through the Dura, which I think has been highlighted. Now, Dura is an abbreviation for development and the urbanization of rural areas. The approach and strategies, they are not new in this document. MDC have been having some of these strategies since 2000. One of these is actually a land audit, and I think it's no secret that the MDC since 1999 have been advocating for a land audit. It is part of the Dura. And then there is also housing and social services. In other words, we are strategizing to turn around rural areas into mini towns with services, housing, electricity, and also rehabilitating the growth points in terms of service delivery within the rural areas. And that is not new as far as MDC is concerned. What is new there is that we are introducing green technology in the rural areas, both in terms of on-grid and off-grid of electrification in the rural areas. Road and infrastructure, introducing market centers within the rural areas, and also making sure that there is world-class schools, hospitals, amenities, again, in rural areas. And this is the concept of Dura. Dura here is an abbreviation.
Okay.
Now, sources of funding. Sources of funding, we identified sources of funding. There will be taxes, again, corporation tax of 15% across the board. And again, payee, we are going to revisit the payee regime with the view of making sure that those who are hardworking have got disposable income. We are also going to realize the revenue from international financing institutions, IFI, again, public-private partnership, PPP, will be part of the financing aspect. Natural resources revenues, we actually have ring-fenced natural resource financing and also securitization of the resources. FDI, ODA, diaspora remittance, pension funds. One new thing there as well is actually the concept here, diaspora. There will be a Zimbabwe Development Council. Diaspora will be represented in a Zimbabwe Development Council that oversees development both in devolved areas in the country. That is totally new concept. Voting rights, of course, we are saying we'll restore voting rights, we'll roll out voting rights to diaspora. Special measures in terms of incentivize diaspora wherever they are to come back to Zimbabwe and take their rightful positions in terms of investment, in terms of key skills. So all those are sort of new concepts in this policy. It is one of the best policies in terms of economic stabilization, agriculture, constitutionalism, sources of funding. So that's only a summary.
Yeah, it is a summary. Thank you so much, Wapepe. Mark?
Ndingapindura were sandakanganwa because ndakizwa ndataura zvino kuti hapana zvinyowa.
Right, okay.
According to Mr. Pepe, the only two new things that he mentioned are that Kuchata devolution and the governors will not be appointed by the president but will be elected and the Kuchata provincial councils and meeting. But that is already in the 2013 constitution. There's nothing new there.
All right.
No, you said
I've said quite a lot.
You said
quite a lot. I said some of it was a build on. Some of it was a build on.
No, you said you totally disagree with me. And then you said 35% of that is totally new.
No, because Sekuru Mati, there's nothing new.
Yes,
there's nothing new. That's where I disagree.
No, there is nothing new, because what you have pointed is not new. It's old. And then you go to the financing aspect, which is PPP and build boat. Those are not new. Those were done. PPP was done from the time of Zimcoat. I was there. PPP was
Seguru, I think maybe you were not listening. About 65% is my policies MDC, which have evolved since 2000. About 35 are to realign with the current situation, right? And demands.
We are not. Can I just make a remark there? But you did also mention those things as new things.
New things to the policies of MDC.
You can't.
These are new. That's what I'm saying. These are new to the policies of MDC, and that is correct. I can remind you, if the old policies of MDC is still on the website if you want to compare, and this is what I was saying. You can compare the two. You'll be able to identify.
The issue I'm taking you to task on is in terms of what you have said is new. It's not new because we put those issues in the Constitution as MDC, the devolution of powers.
No, that's the devolution. Yes, the devolution is not. It's not a constitutional framework that is being brought by MDC. That's not what I said. All I'm saying is that in police document the MDC in a new provisions which were not there.
I think DJ, we are splitting hairs here.
Sorry?
Right, okay. Regai titi wapedhi nasekuru chimbobatai makadaro. Ndoda kutanga kuenda pana Chief Sose first. Chief Sose maswera sei?
Ndaswera DJ Sodza kana maswera ndine urombo ndanonoka kuuya.
Yeah, thanks very much for holding there. Okay. Thanks very much for holding quite a long time there. I see kuti mauya nguva yakareba and you're just waiting for an opportunity. What did you make of the manifesto of the MDC Alliance?
I haven't really gone through it. I saw it in the morning soon after the presentation, and I just went through quickly, but I haven't really, gone down to read it as I was supposed to. Okay. But what I can just say is, from what Mr. Peve was saying and from what I went through when I was just scanning through, it looks like a good document, and maybe those who are closer to Mr. Chamisa can now advise him to stick to these policies and make these his talking points on rallies, and maybe move away now from his hyperbole. They've now released something serious, a serious document. It must be followed up by vivid explanations, on how everything is going to be implemented and how everything is going to play out when the MDC alliance is now in power. He should now move away, from his jokes and start getting serious, and maybe pick, 3 or 4 main policies that he is going to run with. If it is about jobs, if it is about economic revival, if it is about education, you should pick a few that are going to, form the foundation of his running for president, and be emphasizing those at each and every rally, telling and explaining to the people how he's going to create the job, exactly in point form. To just go to the rally and say, Indians are going to come and work for you, that's not enough. It's fine when you're just speaking to people who are listening, who are at a rally, but someone, who is sitting at home, who wants to get something from...
you coming?
Can you hear me?
Right. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Muripo, go ahead.
Right. So I was, yeah, I was saying it's not enough to just tell people that even my Indians, a person who is listening from home need the details. How are you going to make the Indians come? What would you have done? What would have happened to the economy? What are you going to institute public work? Exactly how he is going to do it. That's what we now want to hear, And the moment he starts doing that, I'm telling you, a lot of people will begin to take him seriously, and it will work in his favor.
Thank you so much, Chief Sose, for that precise and advice there to Chamisa. And Suzuwa, Mkoma teach Maskera Sea. All right. My own, I was saying, document yataburitirwa iyi. Do you think it's a good document? Ndaona nharo dzaakuitirana nasekuru navapepapo vamwe vari kuti there's nothing new on it. It's just an old document. Vapepe saying there's some new stuff there which is to realign with the situation now we have in Zimbabwe. Well, what's your take on it? Zvishoma zvamaverenga izvozvo?
Manata nekuti zvishoma nekuti ndozvatoitawo zvangu ndakuita peruse. Point yandabata inini ndeyekuti isusu panapa segungano tamhanya kukurukura daita zviita next week nekuti vanhu vanenge vanyatsoverenga tikaanalyze tikanyatsoassess, but zvisinei hazvo ndo nyaya iri mukura. Nyaya iriko inofanira kubatwa vese zvayo angave kana Zanu Ferrari munhu weZimbabwe is that ese mamanifesto every party yemuZimbabwe must basically have the same thing. Hakuna plagiarism. These are national issues. It's how you check with the that will be different. So mukada kutedzera propaganda yeZanu trick yavanotamba iyoyo. Vabva vazoisa sustainable vaisa agenda. Every country needs to do sustainable development. Every issue that is a national agenda is a national agenda. So playing around with semantics on words doesn't change it. Each and every manifesto in Zimbabwe must basically have exactly the same things because they are national issues. They listed some of the stuff from me. We can't leave national issues because no one is written about it, made a report of it, or because they made an interview in a newspaper about it. Manifesto. These are national issues. Zimbabweans need to move from this simplistic view of the world. National issues are national issues. They should be exactly the same in every political party. How they implement them is the difference. Their capacity to implement them is the difference. I was impressed when I listened to Chinese. He was talking about the capacity of trade. He was talking about those kinds of what are important in the implementation of the national issues as captured in each and every party's manifesto. What will be your ministerial line up like? What sort of people are you bringing in? What sort of experience do you have? That's what political parties should be focusing on. The capacity, technical know-how, the skills that we can draw on this, on that, and we're good with the international community. We've proven it in the past in the GNU. I think the MDC manifesto is very good. It's a matter of the national issues.
What is going on, man?
Right. Mukomatish. Mukomatish pata makadaro. Mark. Hello, Mark. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of noise there. We cannot broadcast.
Okay, is it from me?
Yes.
Okay, let me mute my microphone.
Thank you. Right. Mkomatish, please go ahead.
So the national issues cannot be monopolized or played around with words semantically as is happening. That's why I wanted to interject Papa Sekuru Namkoma Fede Vashkalakavata. They don't have to be new. They just have to evolve to the current and be as fluid as the political dynamics. They don't have to be national issues will remain national issues for donkey years. They will never change. Sustainable development, economic growth, revenue collection, international relationship, foreign policy, educational policy, health policies. These things never change. It's a question of each political party putting forward how they are going to deliver. These are the services we expect, whether it's Zanu, MPC, Mavambo, you name it, it doesn't matter. So we should not be arguing about content as long as the party is captured the national issues. That's all I wanted to say. For me, MDC manifesto is good. Just as good as any other. It's a good capture my national issues.
Aiwa. Thank you so much. Mukoma teach there. You're saying kuti kune vaya vanga vari kuti vari kunetsana kuti hanzi is it new, is it old, is it new, is it old. It doesn't have to be new.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No respect.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
The problem there was Panzi behold the new. And when you start by the article, which can be now, which is behold the new, and then we look at the but teaching is good. I like the way you've approached the subject because that's exactly the way I was looking at it. These issues have been central to MGC for ages, for donkey ages. They have not been resolved, so they have got to come up and time after time.
Sekuru ndozvadari kutaura kuti these have evolved.
Okay.
So they are not news. Ndozvatiri kutaura.
Aiwa, they are new. Pane vamwe va new. Kwete ese. That majority have evolved.
Alright. Okay. Regai tinzwe kuna timboende pana Mukoma Wilbert. Mukoma Wilbert Murkuiona say I know kuti probably we could have done this next week because vana vasati vaverenga, but from what you can gather, what's your thought on it?
I don't think we need to read it. To be quite honest, I think in terms of involving policies and proposals of how to get the country forward, we've never had that problem. The only problem is being consistently implementing them. I mean, even if you look at Zanu PF, some of the things that they come up in their manifesto, you can say, yes, we need that, we need that, we need that. Some of them, yes, are far-fetched. You know, the 2 million houses. I know that will never happen. Just as much as Pepe's 100 billion. Well, you know, or 46 billion economy in 5 years. I think we all know that is a pie in the sky. But I think my point here is, if you look at, for instance, here in the UK, you'll find that when it comes to national elections, the nation will discuss the manifesto of Labour and the Conservative in great detail, because those are possible parties that will form the government. They will never discuss manifestos of the Liberals or UKIP, for the simple reason that they will never form the next government. And I think we have got to apply the same principle here. As long as MDC has failed to address this issue of stopping Zanu PF rigging the elections, MDC will never form the government. So therefore then their manifesto can afford to be a pie in the sky, because it's irrelevant. It will never be applied. And on the other hand, also, Zanu PF can afford to come up with a manifesto that is also a pie in the sky. last time in 2013, the nation was promised 2.2 million new jobs. And then our friend, that comedian minister, psychology tells us that even washing cars is now considered a job. But that is again what we have got here. As long as ZANU-PF is elected and is not based on the electorate cannot never hold them to account. They can afford to come up with a pie in the sky as well. So our main problem here is not so much the economy, but the politics. As long as we don't have the political power to hold those people to account, we will always find ourselves in this situation where they sell us a pie in the sky, which they know they will never deliver. So in this particular case, our friend Chamisa now, besides these bullet trains and airports in every village and spaghetti junction at every cross point, now you can start talking of Indians coming to work and head your cattle. These people are unemployed. 90% are unemployed. And now we are talking of bringing in some other people from other countries to come and work for us. How are you going to pay those Indians? With a smile. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is what we have got here. We've got a problem of the politics. How are we holding these people to account? And as long as we can't hold them to account, they will always come up with these totally meaningless documents which they will never deliver and will never hold them to account. And I think that is what is wrong in this country, in Zimbabwe.
In Zimbabwe, okay. Thank you so much. Mkoma Benford, what's your 2 cents on it?
Yeah, DJ Sodza, but I woke up this morning and I listened to the MDC manifesto. I listened the entire time and I was listening carefully. Today, let me thank Sekuru for representing ZANU-PF so well today. I think he's doing a fantastic job. From what I heard, if Mapebe is saying this is the best of the MDC manifestos, or the best that they can come up with, then it's a hopeless situation. That's all I can say. Economic program, because at the moment that is what we need. What 46 billion economy dziri kutaurwa idzi 100 billion dziri kutaurwa idzi vanodzivaka sei. So I was listening kundiwane ma details. Now zviri kutaurwa navapfebvi apa ndo zvaanga achida kuzama kutsanangudza zvekuti kwanzi tichaita ma pay as you earn. Ndo vanhu ma pay aya in a country ine 95% unemployment, iwo taura kuti tichashandisa pay as you earn income kuti to grow the economy. Uri kuti kudini?
I think
kwanzi ticha joina. Let me finish your paper muchataura.
Okay.
Kwanzi ticha toda kuzojoina yerandi. Vanoziva zvakavatadzisa kujoina randi in the past. Kana tisina mari yedu, there is no way we can join a rand system. We need to have a currency of our own first. So, ukasa outline how you are going to end up with your own Zimbabwean currency. When I'm listening for those details, the manifesto yako, at the end of the day, when I was listening, I disappointed DJ Sodza. Half the time, Vanga was criticizing ZANU-PF. It was about ZANU-PF. I wasn't listening for the ZANU-PF manifesto. That was what MDC I don't want to hear about ZANU-PF. And very good they waited this time ZANU-PF manifesto yayo tozoproduce yedu because vanokopa now ZANU-PF ikaririza yavo takuti chitiudzai zvenyu maakudzokera kuZANU-PF kuya kwe. So kwandiri there was nothing out of that manifesto chandinochifunga kuti chingaisa nyika yedu mberi. The only new thing zvandanzwa, let me finish the DJ so that two new things zvandanzwawo zvitsva ndanzwa kunzi tichaita ushamwari neIsrael nokuisa embassy kuIsrael. I think vanga vachida kufadza America. I think that is the goal yekuti Mugabe has been aligning nemaPalestinians. Ivo vari kuti vakuda kuchinja, vakuda kualigna neIsrael. Ndo chandingati ndo chimwe chitsva chandanzwa. Nokuataka indigenization law ndo yavanogara vachiataka as if it was a great thing. I still insist that that law is good. Inoda ngorefiniwa chete. Imomo muAmerica kune maindustry ukada kuti aviation industry they will tell you kuti you can never own more than 25% uri aviation industry unless you are a citizen. If you look at that, that is a form of indigenization law without calling it indigenization, because vanoziva kuti izvi zvine ma-interest to the country, therefore hatinga allowing foreign kuti aite own more than this percentage. Ndo zvakada kutaurwa nepolisi dzaMugabe dziya zvinongoda kurefiniwa, not kuti moataka moti isu we are going to throw that away, my investors they will come take all their monies away, my profits are away. So who is going to reinvest in infrastructure yenyu? How do you develop the country? Ndichipedzisa, I wasted 3 hours dzangu dzeupenyu hwangu ndichiteerera manifesto launch yavanhu ivava. I was disappointed and kana vachikwanisa kuti vana vapfebve murefine package yenyu maybe zviri nani. Haungapresentaura kuti tiri kutora maideas akanga aiswa na1968 takuma-implement aiko zvino, and you think it's a vision irrevival when you are going back to Smith's 1968 vision and you can't think of your own vision. Inotorawo imu vanhu vemuDC nenguva yatiri kuti mutipowo vision inotichisawo ku2050 yamaronga imu, to hear Chamisa quoting kuti this was Smith's plan in 1968. I was disappointed about that. So my take, without seeing it on paper and going into specific details, I was disappointed with what I heard Palonjiao.
All right, Aywa, thank you so much, Mkoma Benford. You know what? I've got about 20 messages coming through my WhatsApp platform. Now, for those at home who want to add something, my WhatsApp number UK 0798 4455349. I want to kutitinzwo kuna tetero zyapo, then ndombo misa vanhu vari papanel ndombowerenga zviri kutaurwa nevanhu kudzimba. Teterosi, what did you make of this manifesto?
I just browsed through it, but it looked like a decent document to me. I mean, I don't really care if it's old or new or if it's modified. I mean, it's, to me, all the constitutions in Zimbabwe look decent to me. The only question I have for everyone is, the only problem I have with Zimbabwean politicians is implementation, because this is when ZANU-PF, documents are decent. So I didn't see anything wrong with the document. I thought it looked like a good document to me. I don't think Zimbabweans are concerned about whether it's old or it's new or it's modified. I think Zimbabweans right now just want ZANU-PF gone. So as far as the document, I thought it would look like a decent document to me. The only thing that I wanted to say to Nafebe, when it comes to when they say they want to cut down the civil service, I think part of it needs to really include one of the biggest things about Zimbabwean government is top heavy. You can talk about my nurses, Chiima, ghost workers, yeah, but the people who really, where you need to cut down the most is the ministries and those, my parastatals, where we have like 140 something parastatals that are not making any money. And you have a director of this one and a director of that one who's making, at one point, one director was making like 500,000 a month. So the government of Zimbabwe is more top heavy. If they really cut down on the top heaviness and they look into my benefits, and my minister, parastatals, and we really start whittling down on that, you are going to cut down a lot of money from that budget. You know, and when you look at the budget from last year, you think there's a lot of money that's going to there's money that will really undisclosed budget that's allocated to the government, to the ministries, to the war veterans, to all these things, you know, to the defense budget. You know, there's a lot of money there that really needs that budget needs to be looked at item line by line to cut down on all those things, because really those are the main issues, and that money needs to be redirected to things like infrastructure, to start rebuilding infrastructure in Zimbabwe. So they really need to focus on looking at how top heavy government benefits. You know, that's why we don't want that. We want people who are actually fiscally responsible, because that's one of the biggest problems in Zimbabwe, fiscal responsibility and corruption. If we can get a government in Zimbabwe that can actually be, you know, that is tough on corruption and is fiscally responsible, maybe we'll get somewhere in terms of implementation of policies. Because the problem in Zimbabwe right now is not manifesto. If you look at one of these news agencies actually posted my manifesto here, Zanu, manifesto here, MDC, yeah, this manifesto here builds Zimbabwe Alliance, and Manoa Manikoyo, and who's the opposition when we all know he's not. You know, manifesto yo, yeah, Apayechi, all these other people. They all read the same, they all resonate with the same national issue. The thing that Zimbabwe needs right now is we need to figure out how to remove Zanu here. And then when people get there, we need to hold these politicians accountable, you know, and they need to do what's best for Zimbabwe. No, we want a corrupt, free country that is fiscally responsible, that's going to implement proper laws and make sure there's confidence back in Zimbabwe. My investors have confidence because these people are serious about the country. Otherwise, I didn't see anything wrong with the manifesto, and I will agree with what she said. It's time for Chamisa to get serious and talk like a serious person. You know, we want him to win this election. And you know, I'm not a fan of Chamisa, but I'm going with the net. Right now, I'm like, you know what? This is what we need. You guys better do what you need to get in. Even Chamisa, Madam Chimila message, you have a real chance of winning, but you better do what it takes to win this election. Otherwise, we're coming for you. Because you know. So as far as I'm concerned, that there was nothing wrong with the document. What we need is more demonstrations. Right now, more demonstrations for the MR reforms that yes, we know nothing can be done in terms of the loan that's into the system. But we need to make sure the world knows and understands. And then we need to train those election agents. I think there's like 11,000 polling stations. We need well-trained polling stations, polling agents at every polling station. You know, making sure we are checking on the vote. We need an audit of the voter roll. So there's still some things we can fight for right now. You know, that we can't change through the law. But we still need to fight for those things and make sure those things are done. Okay. If we're planning to win an election. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Tete. Let me just, I will be doing injustice because we're getting some of the stuff coming from people. This one is saying that I'm surprised with some panelists who are just full of criticism, yet they can't even produce one at all. Chamisa did, and let's praise him for his efforts. I need to read quite a few. This one is saying, DJ takaterera ivo vezano ngavatiudzewo kuti ko kuzorwirana ma-t-shirt kunge huku dzangu indawa. It clearly shows that Zanu PF yaida kuita counter, but it was an embarrassment, total chaos, and people did not enjoy the day. And it did happen again at the Zanu headquarters before the Women's League. check the videos, they are all over the place. Tinganyeberane okufuridzira ED knows kuti vanhu avachada. Now DJ, what does Benford mean when he say MDC manifesto is hopeless? Who is Zanu comparing when it is the only party ruling the country? 38 years destroying the country, not even reviving Jataka Sirwao na Smith. Right, let me read this one. I'm not sure if Chamisa has wise advisors. How come he keeps pushing some lame jokes? He needs to be very serious. This one is saying, Wangu, it's very unfortunate that folks on the panel seem to take issues about this document and taking less time talking about the substances of the proposed vision as presented by E.T. and company. This one is saying, this march was needed but unfortunately overdue. One wonders whether the opposition is playing to win or leading to an intentional GNU. After all, ZEC can't change anything or laws after proclamation of election date. Then this one is another one. They're saying opposition must have known this, so what are they playing it? Okay. Then I've got another one I need to read here. Actually, just bear with me. Just bear with me. Let me search it. It's pretty long, but I'll read it quickly for you. Kwanziko, for a while I have had today the date of the MDC manifesto launch penciled into my calendar as decision day. For weeks and even months now, as social media has been full of people proudly declaring their allegiances, I preferred to wait to see what the NDC had to offer. While, like many, I have been uncomfortable with some of the seemingly ridiculous promises coming from Chamisa, from Nelson Chamisa over the course of the campaign, imaginary meetings with Donald Trump, bizarre claims to have engineered Rwanda's ICT policy, and building new trains twice as fast as anything in existence are my personal top 3. I decided to give Chamisa the benefit of the doubt and ignore the campaign rhetoric. I was excited by Chamisa's youth and charisma and wanted to see, when push comes to shove, what his offer was to us, the Zimbabwean people. Having watched the event live on ZBC, by the way, what a nice surprise that, for all the deserved criticism, the state broadcaster is at least trying to be even-handed. I must say, I come out very disappointed. It wasn't so much the policies, which somehow succeeded to be both uninspiring and unrealistic at the same time, that underwhelmed me, but rather the tone, for it quickly emerged that rather than selling his vision for Zimbabwe, Chamisa instead used his speech as an opportunity to insult his opponent. I know opposition leaders are meant to oppose the government, but this was frankly ridiculous. Within the first few minutes, I lost count of the amount of times ED was mentioned. The irony is that while Chamisa is solely focusing on Mnangagwa, ED seems to be ignoring his opponent and instead sharing his policy proposals with the electorate. Instead of insults, the president talks of peace, unity and love, and at every rally instructs his supporters not to insult or even mention the opposition. My conclusion from this is perhaps a surprising one. Despite his youth, it seems that Nelson Chamisa is the candidate obsessed with the past, while ED is the one focused on the future. After all, it is Chamisa who is actively seeking the endorsement of Robert Mugabe and the Zanu PF old guard, who constantly used Morgan Tsvangirai's legacy as a means to assert his legitimacy and can only seem to be able to define himself in contrast to ED. He talks the language of the youth and the future, but his policies is stuck in the struggles of the past. When a candidate launches his manifesto by obsessing over his opponent and the former president, you know there's a massive problem there. Meanwhile, ED, despite looking and sounding like the older generation, in fact, in the candidate who is embracing the future, he refuses to talk about the past, refuses to attack his opponent, and he refuses to rise to the bait thrown at him by both Chamisa and Mugabe. Yes, he seems to know where he wants Zimbabwe to go and is in a rush to lead us there without wasting time on the past or a petty disagreement. In the past few weeks, Twitter has been full of people sharing an unpopular... I can't read that. So, here is one that I have arrived at this afternoon. Despite his youth and his energy, Nelson Chamisa today proved he is stuck in the past, and I cannot vote for someone living in the past. It may not be a popular opinion, but sadly, I had to say it. That's one of the listeners sending me that. Well, that was...
DJ Sodza, can I make a comment on this this caller here?
Alright, yes. This one is saying, thank goodness for the MDC manifesto. We should now hear more important and substantial information at rallies. Is there anything else there? Because I want to come to you now. Okay, right, okay, finish. Mukama Benfos, what did you want to say?
That caller when you and this mumeka sure kuti handisini ndanyora because he appears to be my twin in terms of how we think and how we looked at the manifesto MDC and our thinking processes.
Okay.
Wataura zvanda ndichida kutaura pamwe ndichitadza kuzvitaura, but he exactly put my views on this one, and I thank him for my comments apa munhu here.
All right, so you agree with that one. So, Guru, do you agree with that writer?
We are talking about a manifesto, and a manifesto is not Chamisa. A manifesto is issues within it.
Okay.
Chamisa can say whatever he wants. The issues in that manifesto are the guidelines that we are trying to debate. Chamisa, what is Chamisa?
Tatera lonji kaseguru mota sego.
Easy Chamisa, lonji MDC alliance.
Okay, what Pepe?
I think Zimbabweans tine problem ndozvatisvitsa patiri panapa after 38 years. Ukabvunza vamwe vanhu vanonga vachiataka, they are not coming up with constructive criticism. They just criticize for the sake of criticizing. This is why here, in my election, over 128 political parties, right? 128 political parties. Mukatarisa vamwe vacho dzavanonzi well polished manifestos. Vanonga vari iye nomukadzi wake nevana vake vaviri. Handiti? Instead, let's Zimbabweans take a rally behind the MDC alliance, right? Tochinja Zanu PF, which has actually destroyed Zimbabwe for the past 38 years. Canada visa Zanu, anything else becomes easy. MDC for 5 years, if it doesn't deliver according to the promises and the vision, more visas MDC. That's what we should do. So that's my observation.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me just. This one is saying that that lengthy note is silly. Not that I am comparing Nelson to Obama, but how often did Obama reference to Abraham Lincoln, a Republican for that matter? We need a different vision, period. This one is inini hangu DJ ndakamira apa. Chero chamisa akanyepa zvekuti mvura ichabuda papombi redzepasikoro. I will vote for him. I want a new liar. Ndini ndadaro.
That is stupid. He wants us to follow that.
Mr. Pepe, yes. Right, Mr. Pepe, when we give constructive criticism, amudi foot, makamira papi, a question mark there. When we give constructive criticism, amudi footy, makamira papi, directed to Kwamura Pepe that.
Yes. It is constructive criticism. We want to welcome it. Because if you look at this slide tag, we are no longer talking about MDCT, we are talking about MDC Alliance.
Yes.
And this is how inclusive that will become. We are taking all the ideas in. Yes.
Accept criticism when you start your sentence by saying Zimbabweans have a problem. Kanamadaro, it means that person, you are not going to listen to that because Murikuti is a problem.
No, that's a fact.
Benford, where is the problem? Where is the problem? Don't Zimbabweans have a problem?
Another problem. They have
a serious problem. They've got
a diversity of views. Anitika, Saga, the fact that my views might differ from you should not be a problem.
Well, are you saying?
Let me.
In Hangu, I'm going to say this. I agree to a certain extent with the person who said they need to listen to criticism, because they don't sometimes.
Yeah.
They don't. And it's not because, and you know, at this point, I'm just supporting what the public wants because I'm a patriot, just Anna and Shadow. But yes, it's true. They don't listen. When we were telling them to fight for these reforms, they were not listening. I was on radio here in Chitanaro, go to parliament, Tangai. And I was told to keep quiet. A lot of things have been, but they know very well that is Vanessa. They know. Yes, they do not accept criticism. But that's fine. With that over and done with. Right now, we're going to focus on, we need to remove Zanu PF. My demonstrations, Mr. Pepe, Mr. Chamisa, my demonstrations are kupera. It must get worse.
That's a good advice.
Mm-hmm. All right. Chief Sose.
Gaiti tauri. Takauya last week tikataura nyaya yemademonstrations iyoyi. These demonstrations are going to come and they are going to be successful, and the people of Zimbabwe are going to respond positively, and it happened exactly like that. My prophets of doom, Benford, vanongoti anything chaitwa opposition chakashata. And he was at the forefront criticizing those demonstrations. And I'm here today telling him that the demonstrations will work, they are going to work, the demonstrations will continue, they are going to continue. We are going to bring that country to a standstill until we show the world, we tell the world that ED has been nothing but a liar. He is saying he's going to have free, fair, and credible elections. How is he going to have those free, fair, credible elections when he hasn't leveled the playing field? So the demonstrations will continue. And at Benford, kura vachita sei asi ma-demonstrations they are going to I'm just quoting your president. That's
but you don't pamberi demonstrations. Now my demonstrations.
You don't apply that to me.
Let me finish. That's proper language. Then now, you know, if people want to call a spade, some people should come in today and congratulate MDC for a very good week. This has been a very good week for MDC, and I foresee many weeks that are just like this coming until we get to elections. They've launched their manifesto, they've also launched the demonstrations, and I can tell you that the demonstrations are going to continue. And personally, if I am going to use my whole salary to support those demonstrations, I will definitely do so. But MDC is doing good, and definitely I congratulate them. And this goes also to those people who always say, oh, Chief doesn't like Chamisa, Chief doesn't like MDC. No. When MDC is doing something wrong, when Chamisa is doing something wrong, we are not there to massage his ego or to tell him what he wants to hear. We will tell him that he has messed up. Baba, we will tell him exactly as it is. But when he has done something good, we will congratulate him and we will encourage him. Like now, he has managed to bring in MPF. That's a political coup, you know, because Mnangagwa also wanted them on his side. So to me, I've always spoken about unity. That if the opposition in Zimbabwe unite, I am telling you, we will win those elections. So now Chamisa has to just keep on doing what he's doing. He has brought in the NPF.
And they need to bring Cooper back into the fold. Someone needs to be talking to her right now. This is not about pride anymore.
So
this is not about a person anymore.
Yeah.
This is about Zimbabwe and removing Zanu.
Now what he needs to do is to take the next step. Talk to Maimjuru, bring her on board. Talk to Kupe, bring her on board. You know, and then we have a full opposition against junta. So it will be the Zimbabwean people against the junta. I'm telling you, we will prevail.
Very well said, Chief Sose. Thank you so much, Chief Sose, with clapping hands here. It looks like you've got fans out there for what you have said.
Don't think to change so much. Auntie Chief Sose, I'm going to MDC. No, but people don't understand, Kuti. Our criticism of MDC is that MDC must be different from ZANU-PF. You can't do the same thing ZANU-PF is doing and then call yourself opposition. When something is wrong, wrong is wrong and right is right. And Zimbabweans need to just understand basics. Yeah, what is wrong is wrong, right is right. But at this juncture where we're at right now, I saw Zimbabweans on the streets. And for the first time in my life, after my anger at Chamisa, how could you do what you did at MT's funeral? All the things that you've done in the past. Because Zimbabweans are tired. We just need change. And we have to start. We are a young country that does not have a democracy. You know what? Maybe this is how our democracy will start. It's not going to be perfect. Saka, we're going to take what we can get and go with it. My demonstrations, Mr. Fede. Demonstrations, please.
Yes, noted. And with pleasure.
Right.
Sodza, I'm saddened when I hear people are demonstration. What we don't realize is 20,000 people.
So do what you have to do.
If 20,000 people are in the streets, it means apana production irikuitwa. Then this is how we ruin our country.
Production also ziva nasi. Production also ziva nasi nyika yaparara.
Kana muchita kuti demonstration paitwe pabasa. You don't build countries like that.
Okay, hold on guys. Batai makadaro sekuru gaindoerenge zviri kupinda pano. Kwanzi iko, me, I am also a fan of Tete Rosie. She talks sense 100% all the time. That's someone is bigging you up there, Tete Rosie there.
Not emotional anymore.
Fancy, you're talking sense.
My only issue is that this program is started too late. I wanted it to start last year, but they started doing things. It's not a basarese, but no good them soon.
Yes, we started late, but we can still salvage it, Sekuru. We can still salvage this. 2 months time. That's a lot of playfield time.
You won't salvage anything when you
we can salvage.
You're concentrating in Harare where you already have 95% support.
Point taken, point taken, but it has got to start somewhere.
Yes, we have to start somewhere.
MDC has never lost an election because they don't have support from Harare. They lose the election because Havana rural support, and they are not concentrating on that.
I didn't vote.
Yes.
Demonstration.
I want to roll out Denford, don't worry.
Yes, not to Harare, it won't help you in any case.
I
and it only.
Right. Sekuru. Yeah, on a serious note now, between you and me, you know me and you, we do our bets here. But I'm just wondering here. I want you to choose 2 countries. The World Cup is starting on Thursday. I want you to choose 2 countries that you think one of those 2 countries is going to win this World Cup. Can I start and choose mine? Oh, Tanga.
Germany and Italy.
Italy is not at the World Cup, Sekuru, for your own information.
No, Germany and Spain, man, that Italy is without Spain.
Oh, alright. Now, I'm going for France and Belgium.
Alright, Saka, wewe kana asibudzi yako wakaiona kuti yakatarwa kana
aiwa mbudzi yangu iriyo.
Alright. The bet iko zvino kana wawina ndokupa chiizvo unodechi.
Ngentauro dzangu nyika mbiri DJ.
Chikusozve munozobhadhara here atida wanozotiza ka.
Aiwa totobhadhara, ini ndotobhadhara ngentauro dzangu mbiri.
Yes.
Brazil and Brazil.
Ikash.
Iwani kai uchizi.
Atopedza mari yangu ndopairi papa kubeja ngati bejei.
Oh, maisa yese pa Brazil.
Ndobeja nemba yangu yekware mpaki.
Sekuru, tinondotora imba yekware mpaki, we can go and retire there.
There's a tax shop.
There's a tax shop to take us on my freeze ipapo. Right, Sekuru, kwanzi Sekuru vane wisdom inema facts. We must all listen to Sekuru. That's one of your, someone saying that to you, Sekuru, there.
Ndatenda hangu mzukuru wangu.
Atishatauri nemazita. Zvisinei mhuri yeZimbabwe rekaitidai so. This one, Mukoma Benford, you've got a friend as well. He has Benford, you are so funny. You know kuti Zanu yaiba my elections. And wakutaura kuti vanhu veMDC vakaita demo should have been kumabasa. Really? In capital letters. Please Benford, musarambe muchinyadzisa vanhu veZanu saana Mukupe nana Saikolo ikash. Koma kuti izvo. Anyway. Anza ikona kunyadzisa vanhu saana Mukupe Mukoma Benford. mabasa tasiya tapedza ka. So Sekuru
beti yacho ndechi uyu ati chikwere chake chokuwere padu.
Ayo anyini Sekuru
ka. Ngaimba yenye kwa gutu ndona itora.
Iyo kumusha kwanga ungoni kuitora haipe.
Pachiresha.
Kana manga muri sabhuku ndo vananoita sabhuku ndini.
Haigoni kutova.
No.
Iwe futi yakafanana nomudzimai haipeji mudzimai hapeji wina.
Inini zvangu Sekuru ndokutumirai 24 Mackenzie Fosters.
Iyo ndo beti chaiyo.
Yeah, inokuti
ndokutumira yachi double that.
Mama ndongotumbuya semfiriji. Sekuru.
Yebo mzukuru.
Aiwa, ini munongoendesa nemhuri yangu kunando simondotitengera hedu full plata, it's fine.
No problem mzukuru, is not a problem. Ndo beti chaiyo.
Ya.
Unoda kuita chikwere chake chokwari pake.
Sekuru, murikuita zvekutamba muzorikura nakutobeja ma100,000 here.
Aiwa, unonzi kupenga manje, unobeja 100,000 ndione kava bhora rachi.
Aiwa.
Ndo anonzi makasa acho kaiwa.
Aiwa, but Sekuru, isusu yetu iri realistic. Ya chief sosei. Ine munhu pasi. Right, so just to be clear, Sekuru is going for Germany and Spain to actually win it. 8 of those teams to win it.
Yeah.
Inina, I'm going for France and Belgium.
Yeah.
Chief Sose Kwanzi, it's Brazil, none other than Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saka vanhu vese vakateerera vanenge vachizotiitawo maumbo. Yes.
Zimbabwe iri kutamba.
Aiwa. Kana.
Kutamba uko sama.
Saka ndibheje.
Unongobheja kana kuine Zimbabwe chete wapfebve.
Unongoziva Dynamos neHighlanders.
Zimbabwe yakadisqualifya nekusabhadhara makochi.
Aiwa, kufara zvedu Zimbabwe ndozvo zvinoita. We are family. What we do is we will meet again next Thursday. I know there will be a lot of things happening in the next week, and we'll come back and discuss these issues. Chief, so say you're a little bit late. We had I didn't know kuti vanoziva Sekuru as well panapa. Akomana zvinhu zvacho. Tatina Dr. Frank panapa.
Oh, Dr. Chatonda.
Dr. Chatonda wanga varipo.
Okay.
So he's very, very happy to be here, and he'll be back again next week.
That's good.
Yeah. He said that.
No vakuru vaIDika.
Vari kuti hanzi EDP.
Ndavati manatsa mauya pano.
Ngatimbokweshana navo.
Timbokugadzirisa inikikiri sezvo uyu akanikira pasara benefit chete zvauboa.
Izvozvi kuseri vari kunetsana neni kwanzi ndoda kukweshana navapfebve nenyaya yedura. Hanzi wakabadura nangu.
As a plagiarism.
I actually went on the website, but it talked about something completely different.
All right. Vari kuti wakaita plagiarism.
Muchichinja kuti zvisaonekwa.
No, the website talked about completely something different from what the manifesto actually said. Because I just went on it when they were talking. Out of curiosity, I wanted to see what was he telling. What was he telling us? He was talking about investments in Africa and Chichi. It's a completely different thing from what is in the manifesto. So I don't know what he was talking about.
All right. Me, I got lost there, to be honest. Right. My Kabasa, guys, tosangana one day weekend yakanaka. Have a wonderful weekend. Tosangana switch in and nice and fresh. I hope Sari will be back nhasi kumbotora holiday, so she'll be back next week. Okay. Vachatonda madzoga.
Pachine noise na zvino.
Tatopedza kachirongwa manje madzoka tozotokuona next week.
Okay, but vakuru vaya vanga vachiti my claims are outrageous ka. Ndangotenda kuti kuda kune zvimwe zvinhuwo zvinonzi coincidence. Vandiitire inbox, vanditaurire kuti zvakafamba sei.
Vari pano, Wapfevi, you want to answer?
Second, excuse me,
I'm
sir,
here.
where can we find
document
the document that you're speaking of, because I couldn't find anywhere that was similar to your document.
Well, all you have to do is, are you in Zimbabwe?
I'm America.
No.
I thought you said it on website. I'm on a website.
No. This is a registered company in EMA articles of incorporation.
Okay. Inonzi company yacho.
Inonzi Dura Investments and Development.
Okay, is this the same Dura yakanzi Dr. Blessing Mudavani?
Are you saying
that? Yeah, Blessing Mudavani.
Are you saying the name? Are you saying the name? Are you saying the name was stolen, or are you saying the concept?
No. It's not the name. The articles, zinoitwa under Yodura, which is development of urban areas.
Yeah, but isn't it? But sir, isn't that common?
Those are two different things. I'm going to company.
Yeah, but sir, isn't it common that we're supposed to develop our rural area?
Ndrikuti my coincidence actually, they are really surprising to me.
Yeah, but if you look at a lot of the manifestos in Zimbabwe, they're similar because Zimbabwe has specific problems that need to be addressed.
It's common sense, and you don't have monopoly to ideas.
Yeah. No. I am not monopolizing ideas.
Yeah.
I am saying the coincidence. Mimi Dura yenyu, you are saying it's development of urban area and incubation of projects. And Dura Yangu investment, my company says exactly the same thing.
Yeah, but that's normal.
I know who I socialized this document. That's normal. Dura, even though it's an initial. When did you put that initial? Yagozo Buddha say now.
I guess those are the tower with my policies. I know you for.
Okay.
The list. The only rural development.
Chinzwaiga. The only concern I have.
Good night,
Seguru.
The only concern I have is I don't want to be injured business-wise by being associated by things that I'm not associated. That's all.
Okay, Seguru.
No, but look at it. This is the government. Rural development. Any government, we are, in the agenda of rural development. That's a fact, right? I've seen a good, I've seen Magaba Smith, Zanu. Even we can have a company. The vision from a common perspective is totally different from a national perspective. So those are two different things altogether.
Mangwanani. Mamuka seiko.
Mamuka seiko.
Mamuka kuno ndokupi zviya?
Kuno what 25 kuto south Masvingo province.
Zvakamira sei mazuvano?
Mazuvano kunenge kwakanyarara. Vanhu vari kukambena avo yende but kwakati hakuna hako mhirishonga yatati taona.
Ko vanokambena kwatotanga kukambena ko ndozvaka kuti vakaita zvemawadhi zvokuvhota zviya ndevenhingi vemapuraimari ndeve
kiribone wete kiribone wete